In 1901, a sponge diver pulled a lump of corroded bronze from the bottom of the Aegean Sea. It was 2,000 years old. Nobody knew what it was. They called it trash. Until one researcher aimed an X-ray machine at it. What they saw terrified them. A computer? Built-in 100 BCA working astronomical computer, capable of mapping the heavens, 1,400 years before the technology to build it was supposed to exist. How and why did history pretend this never happened? Let's go back to where it started. April 1900. A group of sponge divers from Simi were blown off course by a storm. They anchored near the small island of Antikythera and dove to 45 meters. What they found wasn't sponges. It was a Roman cargo ship 245 meters deep, loaded with bronze and marble statues. The greatest ancient shipwreck ever discovered at that time. The statues went to the National Museum in Athens. The corroded bronze lump was set aside, labeled fragment. Nobody bothered with it for 50 years. Then, in 1951, historian of science Derek DeSala Price examined it more closely. He noticed faint gear teeth on the corroded surface. He requested X-rays. When the images came back, Price wrote that the device, and I'm quoting directly, transcends all that we had previously known, and may involve a completely new appraisal of the scientific technology of the Hellenistic period. Inside that corroded lump, researchers found at least 30 interlocking bronze gears, some with as many as 223 teeth. Differential gearing, epicyclic design, a pin and slot mechanism that modern engineers still consider ingenious. This is not primitive. This is precision engineering. Here is the problem that history cannot answer. The next documented clockwork device of comparable complexity appears in 14th century Europe. That is a 1,400-year gap. An entire millennium of supposedly advancing civilization. And nothing like this exists in the archaeological record. So who built it? And how did the knowledge to create something this advanced simply vanish for over 1,000 years? The answer lies in what this machine was actually designed to do. What did it actually do? Modern analysis, including the Antikythera Mechanism Research Project, a collaboration between Cardiff University, Athens University, and the National Archaeological Museum, has decoded most of its functions. Let's go through them. Function 1. It tracked the Metonic cycle, a 19-year calendar system that synchronizes the solar and lunar calendars. To calculate this manually requires centuries of astronomical observation. The mechanism did it with a single gear train. Function 2. It predicted solar and lunar eclipses using the Saros cycle, a 223-month pattern that governs when eclipses occur. The mechanism's Saros dial allowed a user to dial forward in time and see exactly when the next eclipse would happen, and whether it would be visible from their location. Function 3, and this one is extraordinary. It modeled the irregular motion of the moon. The moon doesn't orbit Earth at a constant speed. It accelerates and decelerates due to its elliptical orbit. The Antikythera mechanism accounted for this variation, using a pin-and-slot mechanism that produced a subtle speed change in the output gear. This is not an approximation. This is a physical model of orbital mechanics. Now look at this. These are other surviving objects from the same century. The same civilization that supposedly made the Antikythera mechanism. Bronze spearheads, clay amphorae, wooden carts. The technological gap between those objects and this precision astronomical computer is so vast that mainstream historians have no coherent explanation. Their best answer is, we got lucky that one genius built it, and the knowledge died with him. But that answer has a problem. You don't build a device this sophisticated without an entire infrastructure of knowledge behind it. Mathematical models, precision metalworking tools, instrumentation to verify the output. A single genius doesn't build this in isolation. This requires a tradition. Was the Antikythera mechanism a unique accident, or evidence of an advanced knowledge tradition that was erased from history? If you think history is hiding more than they admit, you know what to do. And stay with me, because what comes next changes everything. Here is what the historical record actually tells us as documentation, not speculation. The ancient Greeks had access to Babylonian astronomical records going back hundreds of years. Hipparchus, the Greek astronomer who likely contributed to the mechanism's design, had access to 600 years of Babylonian eclipse records. That accumulated data made the Saros cycle calculations possible. This means the knowledge inside the Antikythera mechanism isn't one man's invention. It is the physical product of at least 600 years of organized, systematic astronomical documentation, passed through civilizations, compiled, encoded into bronze and gears. Which brings us to the question that no one in the mainstream has satisfactorily answered. If this level of knowledge existed in 100 BC, organized enough, widespread enough to be physically built into a portable computing device, where is the rest of it? What else was encoded? What else was built? And where did it go? We've covered sites on this channel that share the same profile: precision, scale, and capability that doesn't fit the official timeline. Göbekli Tepe, the Baalbek stones, the acoustic chambers inside the Giza pyramids. Each one is an island of impossible technology in a sea of primitive tools. The Antikythera mechanism is not an anomaly. It is a data point and a pattern. This device changed how we understand the ancient world, and yet most people have never heard of it. What else don't we know? What else is waiting to be found? History says this was an accident, a one-time genius that left no trace. The documentation says something different. Was this knowledge lost or protected? Tell me in the comments. And if you think history is hiding more than they admit, you already know what to do.